Let's have a look. Ace of Cups. So I said that the world was the major completion. So the Ace of Cups, it's a new beginning. Aces are always the potentials for new beginnings, excuse me. Why do I say potentials? It's because even if you have a map with 100 spots marked X and every single one of them holds a treasure, you still have to go look for that spot. You still have to dig for it and you still have to bring up the treasure, right? The same with this. I always say these are like doorways that get presented to us. First, we have to spot that it's a doorway, and then we have to walk through the doorway. And the Ace of Cups is about a new emotional cycle. And that's usually how it goes. I kind of get the sense that when we're beginning something new, and especially a major life phase that we're beginning, first off, it has to feel good, right? It has to feel like something new. We have new emotions about it. We get that hope. We have that emotional growth. That's what the Ace of Cups is. Emotional growth, spiritual growth, healing energy, second chances in love. Now, love, I said love, that does not mean romance. Even though this can be a romantic reading for some of you, apply the energies as you will, as they resonate with your life. But this is about something that makes you happy. And that's the whole point of the aces. They hold the potential of the rest of the cycle. So when we start off with the Ace of Swords, we have our truth and we see where it can take us. The Ace of Wands, we have the inspiration of something that we want to create. The Ace of Pentacles, the seed that we want to plant to grow something, right? The Ace of Cups is the same. This is where our cup holds the potential, you know, all that love, all that whatever. And it's going to take us to the Ten of Cups. But there it is. The Ten of Cups, which is our happily ever after. So hopeful, very hopeful energy we kind of come into this week with. Now, the potential might be there. But we have the Knight of Pentacles here. So either this is to do with an earth sign, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or someone who has that kind of energy. Remember, I say that the signs don't own the cards. They lend their characteristics. We have earth energy and we also have air. So we have, you know, another Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius coming in. But with the Knight of Pentacles, this is what the focus is on. This is what everything revolves around. And it might be that, you know, I kind of get the sense that there's some prospect that you see that could make you happy. But you want to take it slowly, very un-Gemini-like, or, you know, whether it's I don't know, maybe it's not your choice, right? I kind of think it is with the Two of Swords coming up there, but the Knight of Pentacles goes very slowly. We have the slowest moving knight and we have the fastest moving knight in both in your spread. And the Knight of Pentacles goes slowly because he doesn't want to make a wrong move. Sometimes he needs, sometimes he wants a perfect plan. You know, I'm not going to do this until this is perfect. But sometimes there isn't a perfect time. The perfect time is now, whether you have a great plan or not. It's about just going for it. And I kind of feel, I mean, the knights have they have bad reputations. And I don't understand why, because they are knights. They do not have the experience of the kings and queens. They are out there on missions and they do what they're meant to do. And the Knight of Pentacles, he is reliable. He will get the job done. But he's very careful, and I often feel it's because he doesn't have the experience of the King and Queen of Pentacles, that he hasn't seen that kind of success. So all he knows is the work that he's ready to put in to progress this mission or to get what he wants done, right? So, I mean, that's the only Pentacles that came up right here. It's almost like you're trying to be very responsible, very reliable, take it one step at a time and to do this. There's this whole kind of sense coming in of, yeah, like I said, trying to be practical. That's what's coming in. Now, this seems to stem from this energy. We have the Queen of Swords coming up as a past energy. Like I said, that's air energy, your energy, right? It's general though. Be aware, energies can go both ways, especially if there's someone central to your story. This is to help you, the viewer who's viewing this, gain a deeper understanding for your highest good, right? And so with the Queen of Swords coming up here, she has gone through she's gone through every difficult situation that you can think of. She's been through it. She's sometimes called the heartbreak queen, the divorce queen, the widow queen, because she's gone through so much pain. But she's turned all of that experience into knowledge. And out of that knowledge has become this, I always see her as very confident. Whereas I think he lacks confidence in what he's doing. That's why he takes a step and says, am I doing this right? Is this right? That's the kind of energy of the Knight of Pentacles. With her, she doesn't care. She doesn't think there's any mistakes. She doesn't think that, you know, that she can do it. She's not afraid to be who she is. Why? Because she survived so much. And what do I always say about the Queen of Swords? Damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. There was actually an Aquarian that got very offended when I said that. I said that in an Aquarius video once. And they got very offended. And I don't think they understood what I meant. Being damaged, that's not a bad thing. Those are your battle scars of everything that you've been through in your life. And she wears them with pride. And it's given her she's fearless now. She will speak her truth, because what can anyone do or say to her? But she also demands the truth back in return. So that's why she always has a sword of truth. You know, she's famously said that she will cut you if you speak. She has a very sharp tongue, and she will cut you with that if you bring bullshit to her. So with this card coming up as a past energy, it kind of feels here that, you know, this is coming into your own. This is knowing who you are. That you have gained this knowledge from everything that you've been through. And that would imply that either what you're doing is something completely new, and it kind of feels like, it's, you know, are you considering doing something new? Because then you're being reminded you are the Queen of Swords. You're not actually the Knight of Pentacles. You don't have to go that slowly. Focus on what you know. Focus. You know, she's brave. She's courageous. I do see her as being brave and courageous, because nothing frightens her. She doesn't have faith in what's coming up or what people are saying to her. She has faith in herself. She has faith in the knowledge that she survived everything up until this point. She'll survive whatever else comes her way. So I kind of get the sense there's a kind of cautious energy here, especially with that column down there. But have a look at what's in the present. We have the Ten of Cups. Now I kind of get the sense that it's almost as if, I don't know, this could be a relationship, a job, a hobby, something that you consider, you're at this point, your cup is overflowing. You have this prospect of, oh my God, this could bring me great happiness, a new emotional cycle's coming in. Because you see this, you see the end game, you see where it can take you. And remember I said that the cycle goes from the ace to the 10. Now that's the case for some of you. For others of you, this is about closing out this old emotional cycle. This old emotional cycle. Because how can we begin something new until this closes out? And that's how the cycles run. As we say, happily ever after. Take it from me as someone who has ticked off everything on their manifestation list quite a few times in my life. You know, as soon as you do that, you'll enjoy it for a few months. And then if you're anything like me, and you guys are air signs, so you are, and my Mars is in Gemini as well, actually, you get frustrated, because then it's like, okay, well, what am I working towards now? And I kind of get that sense that we always have this, we will appreciate what we have for a while, but then we change, right? I think getting things changes us, you know, getting fulfillment or having the relationships that we want or the jobs that we want, it changes us. And then we do set our sights higher. We do go for a different goal, a new dream. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Ten of Cups in the present, though, I feel like it's for the majority of you asking you, what does the end game look like? What does it look like? What does that happily ever after look like? You know, the Nine of Cups, when it comes up here, yeah, I know it's the 10. I'm talking about the 9. The 9 of Cups is the wish card, but I always feel like that's what we want before we know what we need. And the 9 of Cups guy is on his own. You know, he's getting whatever he wants on his own. He has all those cups, but he sat there by himself. Whereas in the 10 of Cups, you're sharing it with other people. That's why this is sometimes seen as the family. And family isn't just blood. It's groups of people, reunions, getting together. But I love this. It's almost as if through your vision, through what you're thinking, you know, swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. You see this. You see the full cycle. You know how this can go. You know that there could be a new beginning for you here, for emotional fulfillment, and you see the end game. So focus on this. That's what the present's asking you to do. Focus on this. Close out the old cycles. If you're going for something new, you don't need the old stuff, right? But when you have this clear in your mind, what it's kind of asking you to do, and I think what's kind of delaying this for you, and, you know, I'm sure a lot of you feel like it is delayed, is the Two of Swords, which is there is a decision that needs to be made. There's a decision that needs to be made. I'm actually going to pull a clarifier for that, because the point of the Two of Swords is she's got two swords up, right? And look, she's crossing her chest with like, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get, there's a sense of vulnerability that comes in. So this is protection. So you're trying to keep the status quo, but I think you know it. To go for this new thing, you have a vision for something that makes you happy. One of these swords must be put down. Two truths cannot live together here. It's one truth. What is your truth? And you know what your truth is. The Queen of Swords in the past tells me that. this is not so much about you. I think you have a clear vision of what it is that you want. Either you're dealing with someone who's not going at the same pace as you want, Gemini, or you're waiting on this decision. And it's this, there's a sense here that somebody wants a perfect time. It's not perfect yet, or we need to do this first. And it's like, really? Like, seriously, let's just do it. Let's just act on it. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, King of Cups. So, love it. With the King of Cups coming up with the Two of Swords, what this says is, I love the King of Cups. And I don't know who else got this. Somebody else got the King of Cups, but he's a king, right? So he has mastery over his suit. What does that mean? It means he has that emotional intelligence. He understands his emotions, but he's not ruled by them. He's not like the Knight of Cups, who whatever he does it following his emotions. He's not like the Queen of Cups, who has a depth of emotion. She swims in those deep waters. The King of Cups, he understands emotions, but they don't rule him. They don't rule him. He's the king. He's the ruler, right? So he understands his emotions, and he doesn't always say how he feels. And that's why we sometimes say about the King of Cups, like, he can be in love and he won't show it until he's ready to. He's very discerning. He understands his emotions, but there's great depth here of emotions, and still waters run very deep with this guy. So, I mean, do not be surprised, Gemini, if this is a week where you kind of, we have a lot of swords coming up, but it's almost like you're losing yourself in this emotional sense. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's nice to be lost that way. There's an oracle deck called Les Vampires, and there's a card in that, I think it's called Ecstasy. And it's the bliss of losing yourself, of becoming enraptured in something else. It's nice, but we must trust what we are being enraptured by. And it kind of feels like that's the thing here. You don't know whether you can trust this yet. That's maybe why you're trying to take it slowly, trying to get a plan. But what's your advice? The advice is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight, right? Not the Knight of Pentacles. And what does he do? Well, he fights for his beliefs. Swords, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and how we communicate them. And what's the Knight of Swords? He will go and fight for what he believes in. This is expression. This is communication. This is not going to cut it, this Two of Swords. Now, if somebody might be trying to argue with you, it could be that. Whether this is a partnership, romantic, business, families, with the Ten of Cups coming up. There's two different paces here. The advice is to speak it, say it, go for it. And with the Knight of Swords sat underneath the Queen of Swords, it's almost like the Knight of Swords has the backing of all this experience, of all this authenticity, of all this truth. This doesn't cut it. And behind all of this, the reason that the person's trying to keep the status quo is because there is such deep emotion. The King of Cups is the ideal lover as well, for those of you that this is a romantic reading for. So it might be that it can be that sense of that someone's too good to be true almost. That's coming in. But the Knight of Swords, it's about expression. Express what it is that you want to communicate. Trust that you have the knowledge, and trust that it's okay for you to be you, right? Because there's something amazing coming in here. Have a look at this. It's very much the marriage of emotions. We have 3 cups. We have 3 swords. So it's very much the marriage of head and heart. What happens here? And yeah, there's this kind of cautious energy coming in the middle here with the Knight of Pentacles. But there's not going to be a perfect time for this. There's not going to be a perfect time. You cannot maintain the status quo. One truth, your truth, must be picked and must be communicated. Let's see what the oracle cards say. Thank you so much to everyone that's been there with me, whether this is the first video that you're ever watching of mine, or whether you've been there with me from before YouTube was even a thing in the Aquarian Insight world, because I've had my website for quite a few years now. Some of you followed me on there when that was all that I was doing. I'm so blessed that you guys were all a part of my journey, and totally and completely honored that you would make me and my messages a part of your journey. I never take that for granted. So I love you guys very much. I will see you next time, but that's all for now. Goodbye.